was trying to figure out their coffee machine over there.
Hmm.
It's not a Keurig, it's a different,
I bet she could help you.
well, I think she's 199, it's okay, I just filled full of water.
I think I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Is he here? I guess.
Assuming.
Yeah.
So they spent over 2/3 of their budget feeding these horses that they've already got in captivity.
Yeah. Well, it's just insane.
Why don't they just harvest them?
Because they're intellectually naked. They have no forethought, devoid of common sense.
There's 65,000 employees for BLM.
Yes, they're right at 7,000.
Right here, you say 65,000.
No,
While currently staffing is reported at 65,995 employees.
no, that's not right. What did I do? Oh, that should be six, it's got an extra 5 in it. No.
I still can't believe the budget that they have. It's kind of like when that diversion type thing you helped me get paid the other day,
Yeah.
or my in-laws got paid. That pissed me off. But I love my in-laws. Very little came back to me. I love them, but they're selfish, greedy bastards. So.
Jeez.
But I mean, just the dog food industry can take care of all these horses.
Yeah.
You know, the average American family has 1.6 kids, but they have 3.2 average pets.
I didn't know about the pets.
No, well written, dog. But they suck.
How much more dirty do you have to manipulate?
We have 40 yards by 20 foot deep by 690 feet we gotta move. And then I gotta get it all degraded and laser around it. We're moving the laser back over there tomorrow. I got the scraper there. Hopefully, I have to be done by the 8th. So,
Ooh,
that's,
be close.
it's gonna be close.
Then have you gotta get a motor grader in there?
Well, actually, that dozer we have rented, because mine has an issue. It's got a 6-way blade on it, and it's kind of like having a grader. So with it and the laser scraper, I won't have to take the grader over there. But it's a fun project. But they're gonna, we did their first experimental 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And this is like their phase 1, and if everything goes like they're planned, there's gonna be 10 more of those.
Oh my goodness.
That's the job I wanna get.
What are they doing with those?
The fish, there's a truck shipping out of there, they pack them on ice and they're shipped out, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yesterday they were moving, I guess I'd call them the feeders or the little ones,
Yeah.
and they're about the size of your coffee cup. And they were taking them into the other raceways to where they feed them, but they feed them like 4 times a day.
Uh-huh.
And they have this big fertilizer spreader. It's got this air fan on it and this tube that shoots out the back. And they drive by, they kick this belt on, and it's shooting pellets like a big arc out as they drive along. And so they're driving, those ponds are 100 yards long, and so they start up and they just start driving. There's this big old 12-inch pipe, and it's just shooting these pellets, and the water's just boiling as those fish just sit there and eat it.
Oh boy.
But they can get them to
Are they doing tilapia?
no barramundi.
What would you do if you could get more? More
They
dinner parties with friends.
they were doing tilapia.
More gear for your garage
They're
band.
doing this
More places to discover.
What would you do if you could
Still
get
smells
more
like
at
fish.
Shell this summer with the Phil Lucky Sweepstakes? Stop by Shell, scan the QR code at the pump, and enter for a chance to win $100,000 or free fuel for a year. No purchase necessary.
Wow.
Jeez.
So, which fireworks did you watch last night?
I watched the president.
Asleep.
Yeah, all the way through, and I tried to watch a little bit of the race. And I just said, "No, go to bed." Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I really appreciated recognizing the old World War II and Korea veterans. I mean, they had some guys there that were, 100, 104, 107.
Jay Quintera, he was offensive. His dad, not Sim Quintera, but he worked for Frank Bush. He was offensive coordinator for like 15 years for ASU. He was NAU's football coach, and then he was athletic director for ASU. He's 102 years old, but he's a World War II vet.
Wow, that's impressive. Well, I watched all of his speeches. I think he's done a great job. I just wish he'd finished this Iran crap. Quit screwing around.
I wish he would quit listening to Netanyahu.
I'm sorry.
He needs to quit listening to Netanyahu.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
He needs to turn Netanyahu loose and let him finish his job.
after what they did, I don't think we should do anything for him, because what they did in 1968 to the Liberty, the USS Liberty,
Yeah.
have you ever looked at that? Israel blew up our own ship.
Yeah. I recall something about I'm not up to speed on that.
So it's one of those stories that's kind of like McCain. No one ever talks about McCain, how he killed 43 people on deck.
Oh yeah, he did that. Yes, he did.
He did, and he's a complete son of a bitch. And he's supposed to be some war hero. No,
No, he's not.
his dad is an admiral, and he got him put in. He was showboating. He was not even where he was supposed to be, and got shot down. And then he was the most written up pilot we had. And then he dumps his wife for an upgraded model that has money, because she was part of the Hensley family. He's a complete piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, McCain is nothing awesome. Sorry.
Yeah.
With the John Deere Classic, how many farmers watch golf? None.
I'm gonna use your TikTok that you sent me to open the show with.
That trumpet?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
America the Beautiful. We had a new one the other day. Cow number 85 had twins.
Really? Let's get everybody healthy.
Yeah, they seem to be. She's a good mom. We've got about 7 escape artists that come run around in their yard and they let themselves back in and they run back. These little bastards. I gotta fix the fence. And then we have this one little red one that it was Tatum's, and actually Tatum's last show heifer had a calf, and the cute little red thing keeps getting out. It got out and it paired up with another mom, and so it thinks that its mom is in this other pen. And bringing it back to where its mom is. Well, he keeps getting out to go back to this other cow. It's like, you're not even damn animals.
He's confused.
Boo. just and he's the one that he can escape from any pen. I'm not kidding. He is the escapist.
Really?
He can step through barbed wire. No, seriously, he's figured out how to dip through and he doesn't go straight across. He goes at an angle, and he can let himself back in.
Pretty sneaky.
Little son of a bitch. I don't know. They're kind of fun, but is your guy close?
Yeah. He said he was. Yeah, we got plenty to talk about. See if we can get here on time. What's the story with your guy Tom?
He's living with his daughter now.
He's what?
He's at his daughter's house, and I talked to him yesterday. He called me. I was in the Challenger. I had a hard time understanding him. He wanted to know if I want to go to breakfast today, and I said no, I can't. He wanted me to come pick him up and go for a ride because he doesn't like being in prison. He doesn't like not having a truck. And his daughter, she called me Friday, and he has a Dodge pickup that she says, I'm just gonna let him repo it. I said, don't let him repo it, just take it back to him. And she goes, really? I said, why cause any grief? Just call his creditor that he's got it with and find out where it needs to be dropped off. And I said, I'll drop it off the way I want it off the farm. And
Yeah, I don't want anybody repoing it from the farm, yeah.
but he ran into that was while we were gone that Sunday. He went and had breakfast with his daughter, came back, and he ran into the Challenger, actually the tractor that I'm, because it was parked there by the power washer, and he wanted to wash his truck. And it's a big. He ran into the front weights, so it didn't hurt the Challenger. I mean, but he took out his headlight on the one side, and I think that's probably when he had his first stroke, maybe, because that was Sunday afternoon, 2 weeks ago.
Yes, sir. Okay, on my way.
me when I get old.
Yeah, but we're gonna be living with my mom.
Okay, tell me more about. I didn't quite understand everything you were telling me about that.
Cheryl asked if we were gonna, if she has a plan if something happened to my dad. We're alive on the air.
Okay, tell me later. Are you serious? That's.
Okay, I'm gonna start Facebook to make sure. We're on YouTube right now.
Where all do we need to go later?
Maybe just the grocery store.
Tractor Supply. Do we go to Fry's and Tractor Supply right there on Miller? Does that work? What you're telling me?
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Which seat do you guys want me in today?
You pick.
I'll go right here. This is
Probably
fine.
in that one,
The next one over?
yeah,
All right.
cause the camera's on that one.
Okay.
So.
We don't have to switch anything, which is good.
Hookers.
Hookers and Blow. It's from Westport, Washington. It is a tackle and kite shop. And,
I wanted to make sure I was reading that right.
oh, you read it right. But it is a tackle and kite shop.
Okay.
That's cute.
Did you wear that for Donald's purposes?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I can like it. I can like it. See if he's paying attention.
Exactly. He hasn't seen it yet. He had the blinders on getting down the hallway.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
Sure.
Donnie, you missed my shirt this morning.
What's that?
You missed my shirt this morning.
No, I didn't. No, I don't going like, oh, geez.
It is a tackle and kite shop in Westport, Washington.
Really, a tackle on a what?
Kite. So I was up in Seattle 2 weeks ago, and I saw that. I was like, all right, tackle shops. And I saw this. I'm going.
Oh, yeah. Here's what we're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah. No coffee in command.
No.
Bills at 8 o'clock.
I brought that in.
Okay.
It's the same thing I'd given you before. I haven't changed any of it.
I agree.
If you have an old air conditioning system, just 100.
Donnie?
I want to welcome everybody to the show today. We're still reeling from our 250th year of independence. I have Greg Kruger in the house today. Thank you for coming down. And we're going to go down the path. We're going to talk just a little bit about America and what a glorious nation this truly is. But first, I want to be able to share this with you that was sent to me by our good friend Tyson. Please enjoy. That is just absolutely beautiful. Boy, I'll tell you what, Greg, I was so impressed with what the Trump administration, President Trump's speeches over the last few days have just been absolutely wonderful, stellar speeches, epic, if you will. And then the State Fair at Washington, D.C. was just a huge success. The flyovers, you know, it was just absolutely beautiful. I am so proud to be an American. I always have been, but I couldn't be prouder than I am today. Reeling off of yesterday's, you know, we're looking at the World Cup soccer guys coming in from Europe celebrating America, and you know, to see their enthusiasm, and then I look over here and I see the Democrats and the people from the left and the communists, the DSA, and you know, I'm like, why can't these people just go stand in the highway, please?
Because there's not enough vehicles on the highway to take care of it. No, honestly, as someone that is an American, that believes in the country, believes in the rule of law and everything else, the fact that we've seen the statements that have been made out of our European visitors that have, and international visitors, I should say, in general, that have come over for World Cup, and their experiences and what they've been sharing on social media, and the stories that they had been told about America, that, you know, they came over with some level of a fearful degree and have found the exact opposite, and they're having an experience to turn around to talk to American people through their social media platforms to say, you are so fortunate and so lucky, and you don't even know it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just truly amazing. You know, we didn't get here by by accident. Since the beginning, you know, we've lost you know, so many people in the military. It just you know, it's crazy, the sacrifices in terms of bodies that's been thrown at this country. And you know, was especially pleased to see last night, especially President Trump recognizing World War II and Korea War veterans, you know, 100, 104, 107 years old, and it's just, you know, just really cool to see that. And then I experienced something yesterday that I wasn't quite ready for, about a new American flag, because my old American flag was, to say it was tattered is an understatement, but you know, I followed military protocol and put it to rest, and I found that, unbeknownst to me, you know, I thought it was just going to be an act of, you know, following the rules and doing it correctly, but very, very solemn, humbling experience to burn that flag. I mean, it was just, wow, I can't even tell you. It took a long time. So, you know, as we go through, I'm going to throw out some stuff. And you know, the United States formally has declared war 11 times across 5 separate conflicts, and in the people that we've lost is just absolutely staggering. And we suffered over 1.1 million military war deaths and more than 1.5 million wounded in these actions, you know, since 1775. And you know, it's just hard to grip why the second Democratic Party doesn't recognize the sacrifices that this country has made, and why we're in the political shape that we are with the Communist Socialist Party and people on the left. And you know, I'm dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded. So.
Well, I've got a shirt that I was going to wear today, and it says less Democrat, less Republican, more Constitution.
Oh, amen. Yeah.
And
boy, that's very well spoken.
If we turn around and follow the roots and the path of what was given to us as a republic, and we hold that republic, this this is America's unique. You know, this was definitely an experiment and kind of a eyes wide open when they drafted the Constitution and put it together. And somebody in the background's going to say, yeah, but that's racist or whatever. And you know what? You got up today and you have every opportunity
Yeah.
in front of you. You are the only one that will tamper, interfere, hinder your own successes and your own path. And you could be the most disadvantaged person. We have seen and witnessed homeless kids that are living in the back of a car getting straight A's and running off to Harvard and running off to all these Ivy League top of the tier universities, and people that talk about being in situations, economic situations, that my parents were broke, they were separated, I was, separated from my family, I went into the system, I did this, and they are billionaires.
Oh yeah.
That is not silver spoon feeding, that is seizing an opportunity. And that is what this country is about. You will not run into situations that we see in other countries where there is a military dictatorship or there is a government dictatorship that says, this is the box you are going to fit in, therefore you are.
Yeah.
This is still the greatest place on the planet to change your destiny. And we don't see people running off of our shores to run to other places to go and seize a life. Everybody is trying to get here, whether they're floating from Cuba, and when I was a child coming over from Vietnam. Now, I was 10 in 1776. I still remember the Prado Dam when that was painted out in Riverside and how that has stood out all of these years. And to be at a 250th celebration, to see what we've seen, the flyovers that were all over Phoenix and how they were timed out, everything that we have seen nationally. What a wonderful, wonderful country to be in. And the freedom of speech allows people to say some very heinous things.
Yep.
The Second Amendment allows us to go ahead and hold the First Amendment whole and all the rest of the amendments together as well. So we are blessed to be here like no one else on the planet.
Glorious, glorious nation. Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool. It's going to be interesting to see what happens the rest of the year with the midterms. I would like to see this Iran thing finished up and Israel finish up with Lebanon.
I'd like to
so
see
we
that
can
door
get down-
closed as well.
What's that?
I'd like to see that door closed as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Something's going to happen here, I think, real soon in Ukraine. Putin's feeling the pinch. The rules of engagement have lightened up seriously post Biden, and I'm not a Zelensky fan. I used to be, until I did some homework and studying and some of the things that
He's a great actor, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an embezzler. You know about the big ranch
I do.
he bought there in Wyoming. Okay, no, that's our taxpayers. We need to nationalize that and turn it into a park, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see how it sorts out. So anyway, thanks for coming down. You and I have been talking about some of the grumblings in the fishing industry here locally with the Bass Pros, if you will, and I want to follow that up, get your thoughts. Matt Shura was in not too long ago, shared similar thoughts. I have those and some other pointed questions for Commissioner Guggenhauer when it's his turn. So stay with us. If you don't have your flag out, go just put the phone down. We'll get your flag, hang it outside. That was the other thing. I was really disappointed. I drove around my neighborhood. In my block, went around my block, 3 flags up. 3.
I saw more flags this year down, and I'm in the Southeast Valley. I saw more flags up in communities than I have in probably 15 years.
Good. Good for you. Okay, we're going to flip into a break here at Fox Sports 910, back with Greg Kruger, AZ Bass Junkies, and see what he has to say with the grumblings in the fishing industry here. All right, thanks for joining us. Or if you just tuned in, Greg Kruger from Arizona Bass Junkies is in the house, and we've been talking a little bit about what went on yesterday. And Greg, one of the things I wanted to do was give a shout out to Fox News. I thought their coverage of the 4th of July in Washington, D.C. was absolutely remarkable. In fact, they were all over the country, especially during the signature formation flyovers. We had the new America's Force One was in the air. The Air Force had tri-bombers flying all over. Few people have really seen the U.S. stealth air power up close and personal. Yesterday was awesome. Looks like a death Dorito coming across, you know. And then we had the displays from the U.S. Navy's Blue Angels, the Air Force Thunderbirds, F-22 Raptors, F-35B Lightning, F-18 Super Hornet. That's a bad boy right there. And then the Marine Corps, the MV-22 Osprey, and the Navy topped it off with the F-35C Lightning II. And then there was displays from the Army, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, obviously. Space Force was represented, which is a whole nother story, the Coast Guard. And the Coast Guard actually led the tall ships parade in the river with the USS Cutter Eagle, which is a schooner, belongs to the Coast Guard. Pretty epic, but anyway, that's what went on, and really, really proud. So this thing that's going around the fishing world here, basically on forward-facing sonar, is really getting some guys moaning to themselves. Matt was kind of, I think he's kind of on the fence whether to get it or not. And you had mentioned Dean Cruiser. You know, both these guys are good old-time fishermen, and aren't using it. What are you hearing? What are your thoughts? And then the second part of that question: how does this fit in with fair chase?
Well, fair chase right now and is a very hot topic. Arizona, the West in general, is faced with water levels inside of our lakes. And previous conversations about fair chase, forward facing, and the degree of what we have now for electronics. And where do we draw that line on fair chase? So when 3-4 years ago, when the lakes were up, we had a decent rain season, decent snowpack, things that were feeding back into our water and into our lake levels. It was an advantage for guys to be able to go down a shoreline and use their forward facing to find structure, find fish, etc. The same thing with the down imaging, to be able to have that. And the fact of the matter is that our graphs now are so much more superior than what they were 10 years ago. And to think that we're probably 30 years behind military for what we have to what they have. But the short story is that with our current water levels, this is literally to the comparison of fish in a barrel.
We're in trouble on water, and it's going to get worse.
Roosevelt is down to historic levels, at least when I say historic levels for the time that I've been here since '89. I don't remember ever having the water table up there, the water level as low as it is. And right now we are pressuring fish that are in our breed stock. And you're seeing it at the scales. And when I say the scales, tournaments, and I think we need to begin to start looking at the impact of that, because many of these breeder fish aren't caught. But you know, there's probably a few fish out there that were caught 5 years ago and now they've been caught again. They're getting into areas of refuge that they normally would probably go to, or they've had to seek out other areas that weren't pressured because of either depth or structure or whatever that are out in the lakes. And now we're seeing that guys are coming in with these huge bags. They're coming in nearly consistently. There's a 10+ pound fish out of Roosevelt. And if we go back into the history, that's not a consistent thing. It was more of an anomaly to get a fish that was up in the double digits.
Sure.
You'd get a big 9, a big 8, something like that for big fish, but you were not seeing double-digit fish on a consistent basis, which we are right now, which means things are clustered up. The advantage with the forward-facing sonar is that you can turn around and target that larger fish out of all of the rest of them. You can literally isolate what you're going after.
Well, I think your analogy, when we were talking offline, on your graph, you can see a 5-pound fish and an 8-pound fish. Which one are you going to target?
I'm a tournament fisherman. I'm going for the 8-pound.
Of course. Unbelievable.
The thing is I think we need to change some things, because as I'm talking about right now, we're getting into the breeder stock, and inside that breeder stock, we do not have a fisheries program for bass. I don't know of anything with game and fish. You and I have never talked about that particular thing existing, where game and fish has the same type of programs that they have for the White Mountains, for the trout plants and things like that. So we have to depend on purchasing fish and bringing fish in the same way we did for
That's
Florida
under
strain.
attack, but
We brought the Florida strain in, and which is healthier for us. And secondary thing is that we have to depend on the natural breeding cycle. We have talked about Alamo water levels in the past and that fluctuation when they were doing dam work. It turns out they were flushing Bill Williams. Whatever was going on, it was still changing the breeding availability and that particular cycle. Arizona has more than one spawn. Everybody turns around and says, well, it's spawn. Yes, we have a major spawn, but we have spawning that goes on for a long time.
yeah, I'd
because of
say
our
we
water
have
temperature.
four defined spawns, most definitely.
Agreed. And when we have had algae blooms, all the rest of these things, we have always had some type of recovery, financially required recovery, in order to bring things back. So, I put together something that I had basically submitted to you and over to Game and Fish to change some of our guys. You're not going to be happy with what I'm saying. You're not going to like this at all. To change our tournament formats during a time of year, not our fishing, but just our tournament formats, where we stop taking fish for a boat ride across the lake, off their beds, out of their habitat, putting that additional stress on them, and start moving towards something that's catch, photograph, and release. Even in the suggestion of what I put together, anglers, especially during the summer months, and that's June 1st to September 30th, when we have a water temperature that's 86 degrees, fish are driving down to get out of it. They come up, they feed, they go back down to get back into more oxygenated water. But the thing of it is you're catching this 9-10 pound fish. That's our breed stock, and they have to remain healthy for our lake populations to remain healthy. Everybody knows out here, tournament fishing in general, water recreation is completely secondary to what the actual value of that water is, and that is our life-sustaining ability to be able to go to the kitchen, get a glass of water, take care of our yards, take care of our animals, take care of agricultural needs, all the rest of it. That's why that water is there. We are completely
It's not there for recreation.
No, it is not. We are downstream from what it's actually purposefully intended. But the fact of the matter is we also have a probably multi-billion-dollar industry just in this state. If you start looking at trucks, boats, tackle, and all the rest of it,
It's staggering.
that it has that type of impact. And for what we're doing, how we're acting, I think we're reckless with it right now, looking at the pressure from the electronics, the pressure from the water level. Fish only have so many places to go. They only have so many points of refuge, and they're only going to breed for so long.
That's right.
And until either we come up with a breeding program that is not in one of the lakes, something that's similar to the Lunka program that is in Texas, and have committed resources to preserving that population as they have with the area that's outside, I can't remember the name of it specifically, it's just out of Athens, Texas, that they turn around to make sure that that population stays healthy, replenished, and that particular recreational activity continues on, and they have that resource.
Well stated. I want to talk about Center for Biological Diversity when we come back on this particular topic. I'm Don McDowell with Greg Kruger, Arizona Bass Junkies. This is Fox Sports 910, and we'll be right back. Oh my goodness.
What?
I keep getting weather alerts.
From what?
Huh?
From what?
Bad weather. Enormous heat waves and.
It's supposed to be hot. It's supposed to be 117 in Keel Dead.
Is this camera good over here?
Yes.
Okay. before we went to break, Greg, the point I wanted to make, to your point, the Center for Biological Diversity has been in pain forever. These folks have morphed into a organization that thinks they're wildlife managers by some of their behavior. The latest one is a protest to the Arizona Game and Fish Department in a call for a moratorium on using federal funds for stocking non-native fish. That would include brown trout, rainbow trout, largemouth, smallmouth, and so on in our sport fish restoration programs. What do you think?
Wait a second, I gotta get my tongue to stop bleeding. Listen, the fact of the matter is these are established populations.
Yeah.
We may turn back around and restock to go ahead and bump them up to preserve them, either from a natural event or a man-made event, and I'm getting into what the water quality may be. Mining has its impacts. Are they going to prevent tiger trout?
Well, this is a mindset. My opinion is this: Center for Biological Diversity folks, at some point in time, I'm sure they had something that was meaningful. That's been long enough ago that I can't remember what that was, if there ever was. They're still, as far as I'm concerned, intellectually naked. They're devoid of common sense. They're beating the Endangered Species Act to death.
But they're not doing anything in the Everglades.
Pardon me?
They're not doing anything in the Everglades.
No.
So
no, they're not doing anything on the landscape at all. All they do is complain. And I looked into to see how much sue and settle money was paid to CBD. This is their money stream. This is their revenue generation machine.
who funds them in the background, though, Don? Is this another one of those NGOs?
They get a
that's
lot
running?
of donations. You know, I got to hand it to them. You know, they found a money trail. You look at what's happening in the horse industry right now. I just submitted our comments on the wild horse issue with Bureau of Land Management. There's so much money at waste. It's been going on so long. It's become the norm, and they want to BLM, and I'm going to go so far as most of the state and federal agencies, when they have a comment period, they have their mind already made up. And it's specifically in the case of Bureau of Land Management, they get the horse lovers, and you know, we've got a pandemic in this country. It's called the big, beautiful brown eye syndrome on the horses. I mean, who doesn't love? Everybody loves horses. I get it, but we got a bazillion horses out there. They're, in my opinion, mismanaged by BLM. We can't get NEPAs. We can't get archaeological studies done. We can't get wells fixed. There's no maintenance. But in this one case, they've got a $144 million budget to take care of these horses, and we've got 90,000 of them on the landscape. We've got 65,000 of them in the horse hotels. They get free food, lodging, medical care, and then somebody came up with, let's do a fertility birth control program.
Sounds like New York.
Yeah. Everything's free. We're paying the bill. We're also paying the back on CBD. I know they've been paid $2 million and some change, another $150,000 or $60,000 on court costs, this, that, the other thing. But I've refiled my FOIA to include all of their agents and people associated with the litigation with Center for Biological Diversity. And you get on their website and you go down their staffing, and it's long. It takes you 2 minutes to scroll down to the bottom. And in every case, they're using their pronouns, he, she, it, whatever, you know, it's like,
Well, you said something, which is everybody loves horses. Everybody does. I mean, dude, from
I like mine with barbecue sauce.
well, Seabiscuit, Black Beauty. These are all things that we turned around and we've had exposure to, and literally the way that movies turn around and portray what we see in the, you know, even the movie The Black Stallion, which was out
Of course.
30 some odd years
Of course.
ago, and that relationship between the boy and the stallion and all the rest of it. That's how we identify with that. That's where that brown-eyed syndrome is that you're talking about.
It is, but at the same time, conversely, these are the same people that are pro Mexican gray wolves, excuse me, timber wolves, that have devastated Bambi, Thumper, all the other Disney animals that we grew up. They don't care about seeing these wolves hamstring a cow elk and take it to the ground.
Right.
They don't. They don't care about anything other than that horse. They don't care about the landscape, the
No,
devastation
and
of the landscape.
that's the other side of it. There is an impact.
There was a huge impact.
I'm doing a feral pig hunt in September. I'm going to Texas to do a feral pig hunt.
Good for you.
When you turn around and you see the devastation in Texas
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and through Louisiana and Oklahoma,
Oh yeah.
oh my. We have talked about road strikes, and we have talked about the boroughs and things like that. And I can tell you, I've had more than one incident out at Alamo, even at Pleasant, with coming around the corner and finding a burrow in the middle of the road. We do have an issue. How do we contain that? How do we control it? There is a method. It's not the most pleasant method, but it also doesn't entail, running out and corralling animals and shooting them immediately either.
No, no, you're absolutely right. And nobody that I know of, including the ranching industry, is saying that's what we need to do. I put some statistics in my note. There are 17 countries that consume horse meat. These are major countries. I mean, they're not little third world pieces of crap places. You don't want to go, China, Italy, France, and on and on and on. China imports over 15,553 metric tons, and that's 2,200 pounds compared to our ton, that for consumption. And we consumed horse meat up until the 70s here in the United States. And Jack in the Box got busted for it. I just gotta laugh.
It was horse and kangaroo, if I remember right. There was also kangaroo that was involved
Bingo.
in that.
Yeah. Well,
That's when I started eating Jack in the Box after that, because I was like, well, I know they're underneath the scrutiny of, so I'm gonna
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm gonna go get a Jack in the Box
Yeah.
hamburger.
McDonald's, on the other hand, we're still trying to figure out what the hell they're serving.
That stuff will burn for 10 days. It's
I get a
candle
kick
to go
on
camping with.
Instagram. They open up a Big Mac box that's been hermetically sealed for 26 years, and everything's just all happy.
Flies don't even land on that. I have more flies landing on me.
That's crazy. But getting back to CBD, they're complaining about the Dingell-Johnson Act is a surcharge on fishing equipment, so on and so forth, et cetera, et cetera. That's where our conservation money comes from. That's our money for the sport fishing restoration. And I'll be damned if CBD, they shouldn't even have an opinion. They need to stay in their box. In as far, I'll go this far. That box hadn't been built yet, but it needs to be built. So
There's a lot of lanes that people suddenly feel they belong in. You see it on the highway every day. But
Oh, yeah.
it definitely is in circumstances, especially when we're talking about the outdoors. This all overlord everything deal. It's not a place for agencies like that to be determining how we are going to operate in a state with established species. With calling it invasive is ridiculous.
Well, the
Really
only thing
is.
that Center for Biological Diversity is experts at is bilking the federal government,
Well, that's-
taxpayers' money,
that's-
to propagate their own lifestyle. He, she, it, whatever the hell.
Well, it sounds like a Nick Shirley call ought to be made then.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Don McDowell, and that's my opinion. That opinion is not that of my sponsors. It's me and Greg. And you can reach him at 602. And thanks to break here at Fox Sports 910. That's just insane.
It is. It's out of their lane completely.
I don't know where it's going to end. Where do you want to go down your transitional guide for tournament practices?
Sure.
Let's do that. Boy, that was quite a display of military power with that flyover.
Well,
The
turn around
only
and-
thing you didn't have was tanks rolling down the street.
it's coming out of June to Gun Freedom Month. So
Yeah. It's all good. You know, specifically, he was mentioning the Second Amendment time after time after time, which was good. Let's see. You stop it. Touch that thing. There we go. A lot of gun sales.
mhm.
You need coffee?
Coffee? I didn't bring a cup. I got water though. Oh, no, I'm fine.
Okay, we're back. I want to finish up one thing, Greg. We were talking about Center for Biological Diversity. According to an AI overview, their nationwide staff of over 170 people includes a dedicated legal team of more than 40 full-time attorneys. I'm going to repeat that because it bears repeating. They have more than 40 full-time attorneys on staff. Why is that?
Well, you got to turn around to file the paperwork inside of the courts and clog the courts up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And clog the courts up, squeaky wheel, all that stuff. But,
Yeah. What they're still, my opinion is they're just bilking the system, and it needs to stop. So, anyway, you have authored a proposal to the Arizona Game and Fish Department for transitioning fishing tournament practices for largemouth and smallmouth bass. Would you please explain that to me? What are you up to?
Well, look, we talked about it, and I touched on it just a little while ago, and we talked about lake temperature and water temperature, a little bit of fair chase, but mainly that had to do with water levels, and the fact that we don't have a separate, distinct breeding program to replenish our lakes the same way that we do for the trout, and then we got over into that. But we do not have an established warm water fisheries facility to turn around and handle that. We don't have anything near a lunker program, any of that to preserve our breed stock and to continue to go ahead and be self-sufficient inside this arena. Now, what I had turned around and proposed is that we limit some tournament activities, do some rotation on lakes, and it's a 4-month type of a deal, June 1st to September 30th, and that we would also turn around and look at what those implementations would be. Now, this isn't, I'm not grabbing anything out of thin air. This is something that was done with the Wild West Bass Tour in their Apex format, that they ran a hybrid format. They brought X number of fish to the scale, and then everything else went onto a board.
Yep.
I've heard all the rants and raves and about, well, people are going to cheat, people are going to do this. Listen, water level gets low enough at Bartlett or any of our lakes, what do we start finding? We start finding cages down there. Little dog kennels and all the rest of it. So don't sit here and think that it's purist out there. There are people out there that are doing nefarious things to their friends, not just their competitors, because they're friends with these people. They're slapping each other's backs, talking it up, and how they're going to go around and, head out to the local tackle shop. I'm going to talk about a tackle shop in a minute, too, because I'm super impressed with that.
I got to ask you about that shirt, too.
But, that we start implementing some things out here, because as anglers, as tournament operators, as anybody that's out in our wilderness, whether you're driving down the road with a trailer, a 40-foot toy hauler behind you, you are an ambassador of the outdoors. You are responsible to be responsible for everybody else and every impact that you make out there. Get your chains off the asphalt.
Thank you.
Make sure you're not dragging your chains. Take your freaking trash home.
Exactly.
Because Bullwinkle and Rocky the Squirrel don't need that up in their woods.
Nope.
Smokey the Bear doesn't want you building fires right now. You need to be an advocate and an ambassador of the outdoors every time you're out there. Now, with inside of the tournament world, you guys have even a higher responsibility. You are handling a live animal that your responsibility as the ambassador to this environment is to assure that it gets back to the water with the least amount of stress and the highest probability of survival. And there are ways to do that, and there are ways not to do that. And I'm going to let you know, it's also been noted that few tournament operators use proper equipment or standardized protocols established by BASS, a global organization that was founded in 1967, leading bass conservation and tournament care. You guys aren't doing the job. And I'm not just talking my local guys, I'm talking about overall.
Oh, yeah. Nationally.
There are very few tournament operators out there doing it correctly. So Implement a CPR, that's catch, photograph, and release. This runs right off of the hybrid of Wild West and Apex for how they had their format. You immediately photograph the fish, it goes back in the water, you minimize the stress, you've documented your catch, and you move on. Limit scale weigh-ins. Tournaments may still utilize scale weigh-ins, but anglers will be limited to submitting a maximum of 2 fish for weighing. You're bringing your 2 best fish to the scale. You still get your moment, you still get your picture where you're holding up your bass, but everything else goes onto the board. And then rotating restrictions based on spawning cycles that, Bartlett Lake and Lake Pleasant are matched up. Apache Lake and Saguaro Lake are matched up. Roosevelt, Alamo, Canyon, and Bartlett on that cycle. And it can be flipped around, but what it's going to do is it's going to assure that we continue to stabilize and build that population without additional stresses. If you want to go out and fish, take a kid fishing where you catch 10, 15, 20 fish a day and really get that child, that young person, that first time fisherman hooked, no pun intended, they need to catch fish.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than taking a 5, 6, 7-year-old out onto a boat and having them saying, "Are we done yet? Are we finished yet?"
Oh,
And you're only
yeah.
2 hours into the day.
Yep,
They
yep,
barely
yep.
finished a small bag of sun chips. And you're like, well, the bite's going to turn on. It'll be all right. It happens. It has happened. And it's just part of being a dad and taking kids out on the water. The methodology that I had put together reduces economic impact because there is a support for local business. People are still active. People are still buying trucks, still buying boats, still eating in restaurants, still getting gas.
Absolutely.
The whole 9 yards.
It just perpetuates the financial advantages that the bass fishing industry puts back into the market by extending it, by protecting the resource so that we have it next time.
Exactly.
Come on.
Exactly. So turn around and reduce the mortality rates, enhance the natural population growth. It's kind of, honestly guys, with the way that the water levels are, this is a no-brainer move. It would be good for all the tournaments to turn around and take this on and to move forward, preserving what we have right now and making it better.
What's the next step? Just going to Game and Fish?
It's got to go to Game and Fish, and Game and Fish has to turn around and say, these are your new parameters. I hate to go ahead and
Good luck on that. We'll hammer the commission, see what they have to say. Hey, I'm Don McDowell. That was Greg Kruger. This is Fox Sports 910. We're stepping down on the first hour. We're talking about freshwater fish. We're going to talk about saltwater fish when we come back. Stay with us. Nice work. Yeah, we got a problem with the, are these mics hot again? That I choose to remain silent.
Have you had an opportunity to go over to Copper State yet?
I've been over there 2 times.
They just did their expansion and their re-grand opening this last week.
I was over there months ago.
You need to travel on into there again. They've definitely separated themselves from everybody else in the valley.
Nice. Here. The bottom one.
Does that help?
I don't think so.
I don't think so
I
either.
mean, that whole thing is taking a left-hand turn. Very, very shallow thinking, and I think there's a breach of fiduciary responsibility to the constituency across the board. Unwillingness to stand up and fight, unwillingness to stand up and do what's right, even when they know they need to do that, they don't. So.
Well, maybe it's time to get involved.
Yeah, well, I think right now is the mood of the Trump administration, and especially I've got a where is it? That was filed. That's also going to President Trump, Secretary Rollins, Secretary Burgum, and Nesvik, and a couple others. They'll be back next week with Coffee and Command. Right now, they're in the air, headed to Maui, and we're going to follow up with Captain Bill Wilkerson, owner-operator of Malahini Sport Fishing, Horizon Sport Fishing. Captain, happy 4th of July, 250 years of independence. What do you have to say? Yeah, good, man. Really good. I tell you what, I was telling Greg here, I am so proud to be an American today after after watching President Trump this whole past week has been epic. So anyway, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What's the big round bottom girl doing, and what's the Horizon up to?
Well, it's nice to be seen.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the fish counts. As you know, we've been talking about the bluefin are pretty non-existent on the last couple of days. Yellowfin have not showed up except for one time about 3 weeks ago. There was one on the dock count. What in the world is up with the yellowfin? Captain Bill, we have lost Captain Bill. Anyway, I don't have the day counts yet. It's still pretty early for boats to be reporting in, but the Nautilus is running a half-day twilight. They had 6 anglers, 60 rockfish. Pretty similar for their AM trip. The Premier is running a half-day AM in. Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened, but and then yesterday the Malahini had 18 folks. They had 60 calico bass released, 51 went home, 20 barracuda released, fun fish to catch, 14 rockfish, 17 red rockfish, 12 whitefish, excellent tables fare, along with 3 lingcod. So that was a good day on the water, Bill. I don't care who you are.
Freezing.
Ugh. Oh, that's terrible. Yep, put the call on that. Yep. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any conversations or communications with the commercial fleet at all anymore? Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. Well, we've been goofing around over here talking about the monsoon and the yellowtail, or excuse me, yellowfin. Uh, it's still prevalent. They're saying, well, we're going to have this El Nino, and you're going to have monsoon. It's going to be wet. And I go, no, no, no. We don't have we don't have the yellowfin, or no. We're just not going to have that. So. Oh, I hear you. That 2.5 day on the horizon, how many anglers do you have signed up for that one? Oh my goodness. Of course. That's easy. Go fishing, go fishing, go fishing. On regular gasoline or what's diesel? Geez. Well, we just broke the $5 mark over here. Diesel's down to 4.59.9. Say 4.60 a gallon is the lowest I've seen it, but I haven't seen that for a really, really long time. So. Well, okay. Well, I appreciate you playing along today, and I certainly hope you feel better. And give our regards to all the guys and girls on the Malahini and on the Horizon vessel. Yeah, it's
There we
always
go.
good.
It's not just on the milk carton.
Yeah. Or post office. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Hmm.
oh yeah. Okay. Are you doing the conventional Hawaiian method with a spear and a knife? Well, my my Maui counterparts are wanting me to come over to Maui. In fact, I should be in Maui this week because of the military activity, but that's a story for another time. Uh, but yeah, that's what they want to do. They want to have me, kind of immerse myself in the culture. Put my shorts and flip flops on and a tank top, grab a spear, a knife, and go into the bush after the feral hog, and have a luau afterwards. I'm going like, gee.
The flip flops.
No. Okay. I'm pro 30-06, pro 308. I'm right there with you, Bill. Yeah, yeah. Well, good stuff. Well, I'm looking forward to get over there. I've got to get over there sooner than later, and like I said, ought to be over there right now. But anyway, we're going to kick you loose. Wish you the best the rest of the weekend. God love you. Hope you feel better. Okay. Mahalo nui. Okay. All right. Captain Bill, man, he does a great job over there, but you know he's right on so many fronts on this fishing. The economy is a big deal.
California is a trying place to begin with.
Don't get me started.
You know, I'm not trying to open that box, but I'm like I said, I was just up in Seattle and I travel out to California.
Another fine spot.
Gas prices are the same up in Seattle, or at least close to it, which I was really surprised. I thought they would have a little bit less, or at least be closer to Arizona, not having all that California taxes. But as soon as I start talking to them up there, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's taxes. It's taxes on top. Taxes
Same as California.
Taxes, same as California."
Well, you get what you vote for. Anyway, we're going to stand down. We're going to try to get a hold of Chris Rich. I know he's wandering around somewhere in the White Mountains. I'm not sure it's shorts and a tank top, but I'm sure there's some flip-flops involved. We'll be right back. You keep playing that, I'm gonna start throwing stuff at you. Raffy. Come on, who does that? Okay, Chris Rich is lost up in the White Mountains. Chris, have you been found? I'm here. We got you. Over. You're coming 5x5. Yeah, of course it is. It's always good. Yeah, they've been saying that for a month. Yep. I'll believe it when the yellowfin show up. So. I have. We've been watching that one. That was started right along the highway when I checked it last evening. They were at level 2 set, getting ready for evacuation. I had heard that their evacuation orders had been on the table for certain areas. We're looking at the fire that's burning north of Sedona. And I wanted to congratulate the Coconino Forest Service for totally wiping out Unit 6B. The Raphael fire in 2021 burned almost 80,000 acres. This one's up to about 26,000 acres. And in my opinion, fire management sucks. And they're well out of their fiduciary responsibility for effectively fighting fires and effectively keeping the fuel in the forest down at a manageable level. And whatever happened to forefront? I mean, that was a big deal. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. They didn't do crap. They just start setting backfires and letting the woods burn. Shame on them, but that's just me. Of course they did. Of course they did. You get something out in 6B where they're supposed to be out there cleaning up the forest in the rest of the stuff. I don't even want to get on the soapbox, but right now I am so pissed off at the environmentalists. We need to send them, wrap them up and send them to Somalia. Anyway. Okay, thank you. Yeah, get me off this. I've got our good friend Greg Kruger in studio with us. He runs a Tupperware boat, kayak, fishing tournament division.
I do, but there's going to be a time that I'm going to convince him. Either I'll bring the trailer and the kayak down here, or I'll manage to get him on it, and he'll understand that it's far more stable than that old canoe he used to paddle with his knees down to the bottom of the boat. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. It's a whole different animal out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm geared up that way too, but not. You know, a full. This is what's going to be crazy. The next statement comes out of my mouth. A fully rigged, tournament-ready kayak, and you guys all know how much the electronics are, and how expensive electronics have become. You're looking at anywhere from $17,500 to $22,500.
Wow.
For a Tupperware. But there, it's a tournament ready fishing platform that you can do whatever you want to do to it for the most part. So it's
Amen. Amen.
and that's great. No,
Wow.
it's important. It's important, you know. And I was talking earlier about being a good steward for the outdoors too. So,
All right, Chris, we're gonna wish you the best the rest of the weekend. We got to get out of here, flip into a break. I appreciate all you do for the community and especially the fishing community and getting these guys out on the water. God love you. Amen. Yeah, I look forward to that. Okay, we've got a little house cleaning to do in the closing segment, but right now, Greg hit on chain protocol. We've got 17 fires burning in Arizona, and a couple of them are pretty pivotal. That pocket fires over 25,000 acres and really devastating game unit 6B. So anyway, when we come back, we'll see if we can make contact with the new commissioner chairman, James Guggenauer, the master rod builder at Rim Country. I don't think he's building rods.
I haven't. To be honest with you,
Rim Country Custom Rods, man.
have not heard from the circle.
We'll check it out. I'm Don McDowell with
Greg Kruger
on Fox Sports 910. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Aircraft tracker. That's all about. Pro member, $99 a year. We'll scratch that. How many kayaks did you average? How many kayaks have you been averaging?
just 15. But there's another gentleman that's running something. It's called the Arizona Summer Slam, and we pulled 34 for that event.
Wow.
He's got a $5,000 championship too.
Yeah, that cottonwood fire up in Utah has hit 95,000 acres. That is just nuts. Yeah. Okay, I want to welcome the new Arizona Game and Fish Commission Chairman, James Guggenauer. Hello, James. Life is pretty good. Life is pretty good. Still reeling from the 250th anniversary of our independence. The Trump administration, I thought, did a wonderful job celebrating America and the good fortune. This is a glorious nation, and as I said earlier, I couldn't be more proud, which I always am, but right now I'm especially proud to be an American. So. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you know, how's your fire threat up there at this point? Oh yeah. Well, that's true, and I haven't been kind to the Forest Service, especially after their behavior on the Raphael fire, burning almost 80,000 acres in Unit 6B. right now this one's up to 25, 26,000. It's down there at Secret Mountain, Little Round Mountain, that's full of canyons and all that stuff. But once it gets to plateau, I just don't get their lack of efficiency with air assets to stop it. That damn thing's burned all the way into Turkey Butte. And I can't tell you the devastation to the unit the last two big fires have had, and I find them at fault for not putting the Raphael. They had the air assets to put that out in 24 hours. Yeah, I don't care what they say, and I want to get off this, but anyway, that's just. Yes, sir. Okay, tell me about your new chairmanship. Wonderful. Well, that's good. Anything noteworthy coming out of the commission at this point besides you being voted in as chairman? Well, we have our friend Greg Kruger in here. You know Greg from AZ Bash Junkies. We've been discussing. Okay, so you're listening to what he's had to say about the transitioning fishing tournament practices for large and smallmouth bass into CPR.
Or at least a hybrid of CPR and our normal tournament activities. Something that was brought in by Wild West Bass when they were doing their Apex. Mm-hmm. Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the ponds at the current Phoenix Zoo, were those not ponds that at one time were part of fisheries and brood ponds and things like that were used before the zoo was in place at Papago?
Interesting. Okay, what are you doing for Rim Country Custom Rods? That's something that popped up here. We haven't heard a lot about your rods lately. Okay. Okay. Absolutely. Who's your pick for Chicagoland today? We got to get this thing wrapped up. Yeah. Between those two, yeah, absolutely. I'm not a Denny Hamlin fan. I'll give him the kudos. The man can wheel a race car, but I'm looking to see one of the other ones. Christopher Bell is due, and he's been knocking on the door, and then Bubba Wallace is in an 8. So I'll give him 100 laps before it's back in the pits. So. Yeah, but he goes backwards really good. So, all right, we're going to wish you the best rest of the weekend. Happy 250 years of independence in the America, baby. It's America. You betcha. Thank you, sir. James Gilgenauer, the new commissioner chairman for Arizona Game and Fish Department. I'm Don McDowell.
Greg Kruger.
We're going to come back. We've got to do a little house cleaning and tell you about AES and MDF, and then get on with the day.
No matter what boat or watercraft you drive, your safety starts with the proper personal protection devices for you and the people aboard your vessel. Hey, I'm Don McDowell, medical angler, saltwater fisherman, and United States Coast Guard Reserve Lieutenant and 11 Guardians of the Southwest. Mustang Survival BFDs are our only choice when enjoying our own watercraft or saving lives. Our lives depend on Mustang Survival here, and
Okay, back to you, Greg. What do you got coming up tournament-wise?
Next event that I'm going to go do is with the Arizona Summer Slam. That's being run by a gentleman named Scott Milk. There is a $5,000 championship that's up at stake. That'll be 2-day at Havasu. But the next event, he's kind of tailored the format down. We were only allowed to take out 2 rods to Bartlett, soft plastics only.
Nice.
So no cranks, none of the fun stuff. And this next one's going to be up at Roosevelt, and it's hollow body frogs only.
Wow.
So I like the fact that the format's been narrowed down.
Hollow bodies, huh?
Hollow bodies only. Like the fact that he's really narrowed it down, and it makes it fun, to be honest. We know everybody's pretty much fishing with the same stuff. It's how they doctor it up a little bit, and after that, it's 80 man's game. So I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, sounds fun stuff. Okay, anything to add before I got to do a little housekeeping here for Arizona
Well, hey, if
Elk Society.
we talked briefly a little bit, I think it was off air. I talked about Copper State Tackle. They have opened up their location, or reopened their location down in Chandler. They have expanded exponentially. They have taken on that square footage that was off to the east inside of that building, so they've made themselves a much larger footprint. They have separated themselves from everybody else.
Absolutely.
Out here in the market. And lastly, because of the travels and things like that, I had an opportunity to explore another tackle shop up in Westport, Washington.
Oh.
So I
do tell.
I was up in Seattle, and I had some downtime, and I had a customer who was over that direction. And I, of course, got on Google, looked up things, and in Westport, Washington, there is a kite and tackle shop that's right down there. It's all the boats come in and things like that. But they picked themselves an unusual name for kites and tackle. And it's called Hookers and Blow. They have a wonderful assortment in there for tackle and to get out into the bay and that brackish water, whether you're fishing salmon, trout, if you are out there fishing halibut.
Great fisheries.
So it was a lot of fun, and their kite selection is quite something as well.
Oh my goodness.
So I thought, wow, that's a great play on something, and so I'm going to check that out. And I went to Hookers and Blow in Westport, Washington.
Makes an interesting shirt for sure. Okay, well, you never cease to amaze me. I mean, truly.
I have to kick the rocks to find out where the moss is underneath.
Boy, you do. Yeah, you got to watch out for what's under the rocks sometimes. Okay, here's the deal. The Arizona Elk Society hosts multiple fundraising banquets throughout the year to support wildlife conservation, habitat restoration, water hauling, and youth programs. The remaining 2026 banquet is coming up. It's in Northern Arizona, the NAP Northern Arizona chapter. It's Saturday on the 11th of July. Times are 4:30 to 10 p.m. It's located at Little America up there in Flagstaff, and they've got all kinds of stuff on to do at the banquet, raffles, and all sorts of fundraising devices. Good event, really a good event. And then the Mule Deer Foundation, their Pace and Rim Country chapter, has what they call Gunapalooza, and that is day before the AES banquet on the 10th of July. That'll be held at Jake's Corner Bar and Grill, which actually has a Payson address, 110 South Highway 188. That's on the way to Tonto Basin South. Guns, and more guns. That's all they do is guns. So that should be a good event. And while you're there, you can sign up for a lifetime membership and make Don Pelfrey look pretty good. It's hard to do, but it can be done. So that's what I have to do for house cleaning, other than to tell you that chain protocol right now is as important as it ever was. You change dragging on the asphalt, start fires. The one you asked about Yarnell, same thing.
Mhm.
And you look at the amount of fires that are along the highway, same thing. And then the other day we had a project walk in down by Kearney, and a gentleman, actually there were two guys pulled in on an F-350 Ford. It was a nice truck. I mean, oh my gosh, it was new. Steel bed, tools, you know, dressed up wheels. It was really nice. The guy pulled into grass that was 2.5 feet tall to park.
Catalytic converter.
And I asked him, I hate saying something because you never know how it's going to be met.
Right.
And there was a bunch of cowboys around on it. You know, I didn't want to get in a situation where he wants to punch me in the face, because I'll punch him in the face back. But I told him, I said, buddy, you know, this is really such a great truck. I'd hate to see you lose it. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, you're parked in dead, dry grass here, and your catalytic converter is somewhere between 800 and 1500 degrees. It's a good chance you're going to start a fire right here, and it's going to burn up your truck. Oh my God, I hadn't thought of this. Sorry, he moved his truck. I didn't get punched in the face, so it was all good. So, but you know, I mean, just common sense. I mean, common sense. This is a great country, but there is a faction in this country that are intellectually naked, stupid, if you want to call it what it is, and devoid of common sense. It's just, I'm amazed. But anyway, not too late. If you don't have your flag hang, I'm gonna leave my flag up all week. Yep. May put the big one on the Dodge truck and fly it around.
I've got one that's out in front of the house. 365. It is not a flag. It is it's a box. It has the flag on the front of it. One of my neighbors said something to me at one point, and it wasn't about having it lit 24 hours. Something else. Said it had to be an HOA thing.
Oh, tell
I
them to
said,
shove
well,
it. Yeah.
Why don't you have the HOA come over and talk to me about it? We'll go at it from there. And that was 5 years ago. Never heard from the HOA.
Crickets.
So
Crickets. HOAs have a place on the planet. I'm not sure whether it's been dug yet, but anyway, they do the best job that they can. Okay, anything else to add? I mean, you got
no. There's just there's a lot of things coming up. We qualified through Bass Junkies several anglers to go to the West Coast Championship that'll be out at Clear Lake. We have had great experience. I want to thank Riverbound. We gave out belt buckles.
Cool
Great
idea.
big huge belt buckles. I'll show you photos after this. But Riverbound Paddle Sports in Tempe took care of that with us, and we really appreciate all the sponsors that have ridden along with us over the years.
I appreciate you coming down. It's always a pleasure to see you. I'm Don McDowell. Give us a like on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, X. Take your kids fishing, hug your bass boat, and we'll be back next week with gubernatorial candidate David Sweikert. I'm Don McDowell.